Hello and welcome to the longest Long Island weather alert. We've got to talk about chance for severe weather tomorrow. Today we did have more severe thunderstorms, including tornado warnings. No reports of any confirmed tornadoes. You can see here on the satellite loop that particular complex went over New Jersey, and we'll again kind of review what happened here. Let's go to the event to sketchy. There was a second complex, I think. Let me just make this a little bit longer here. There was two. All right, so this is the first complex actually here that passed through, and then there was a second complex, I believe, that came through as well. So we'll look at the radar in a moment. This is going to take a little while to load. That's the first one, and then this is the second one that came through towards sunset. Looks like it blossomed a little more over Baltimore, and there was a tornado warning in Baltimore. Yeah, this was a pretty intense line here. We can look at the radar here and show you that rewind the radar here. Currently, not a whole lot going on, but if we go back to 6 o'clock, you'll see the second line here that came through Baltimore. That went well to the south. I think it affected Delaware more than New Jersey. Yeah. So it didn't really affect New Jersey too much. It was mostly Delaware that got affected by this particular line, but pretty substantial. I mean, again, we'll go to the lightning. I'll do the lightning in here so you get an idea of this. And again, just look at all that lightning there. I mean, that's you can see how it kind of died out as it moved to the east, but still really intense. And if we look at the CONUS view, you'll see that we've got, and I'll put this on the lightning again, we've got more severe weather going over Missouri, and there have been numerous tornado warnings. So this is what we got to worry about for tomorrow. There's been a lot of power outages, too, where these storms have hit. Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Missouri, even out to Virginia and even Maryland. 87,000 customers without power. So these storms hit Maryland pretty hard as well. No reports of any confirmed tornadoes from Mount Holly, but there are some storm reports here. Numerous trees and wires down in Delaware and Maryland. Talbot, trees snapped. So extensive tree damage. So it looks like some pretty strong winds that hit in Delaware. 3.5-inch hail reported in Maryland. So trees and wires down. And it looks like Maryland was hit really hard by that second line. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, too, being reported out there. So pretty crazy stuff with these storms. And this is the concern that we're going to have going into tomorrow. You'll see here, current temperature, it's very humid, it's very muggy. Dew points low 60s. The temperatures aren't much better. We really had a really murky looking day today. And we did have a little bit of rainfall in the afternoon from the outer edges of the severe complex that went over Atlantic County, New Jersey. Yeah, let's go take a look at some of these observations on Delaware and Maryland, for instance, and see how they got hit. So it looks like they had a 46-mile-an-hour wind gust at Salisbury. Let's see, Eaton had a wind gust of 32. It's not too crazy. It's Baltimore, I think, that really got hit hard. So let's go take a look at Baltimore. They had a wind gust to, I don't know, no wind gust being reported there. They got up to 87 today, by the way. That's extremely hot. Let's see if we can get one that a proper one, like in an airport or something, would be preferable. Baltimore Tower had a wind gust of 44, but there's some wind gusts that were higher than that, depending on where you were, where the 42. Sure, we could find some pretty crazy wind gusts where these storms hit. And this is kind of outside of our area, but just to give you an example of thank God it kind of didn't hit Jersey again, because they would have gotten slammed twice in a row. But if we go into New Jersey, we'll take a look at Atlantic City Airport and see what they gusted to. That's not Atlantic City Airport. This should be it, right? Nope, that's not it. Atlantic City Airport only gusted to 25, so that's not too bad. But I think as you make your way further west, you probably had some stronger wind gusts in some of these areas. 25 hours. It's not that impressive. But anyway, we got to talk about tomorrow. All right. So, and again, today's temperatures across the island, as far as highs goes, only low 70s. But as you went inland, it was warmer, and much warmer as you went off to the south and the west. Just very humid, muggy air, and the air quality is not very good either. Go to AQI, and I think it's saying it's good. Okay, it seemed a little bit hazy, and I almost thought I smelled some smoke today. So, yeah, we're gonna have to look at that for a moment and see if there was any smoke. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. It's the vertically integrated smoke, but I don't know. It seemed like there was definitely some haze in the air for sure today. So current radar, you can see our 4 dead and a tornado emergency declared in certain areas. We've had a number of PDS warnings today, and there was a PDS, a rare tornado emergency in Illinois apparently. So this went through, and there were St. Louis too was hit very hard as well. So here's a picture of this is the tornado at Creel Springs, Illinois. Insane. So insane. It's only May, and look at all the severe weather that we are seeing. It's pretty crazy. So, I mean, this is the line right here, and this is what we're going to have to worry about as we head into tomorrow. There's another line over here that's going to hit in Michigan again. They got walloped last night. A lot of straight line wind gusts there. So let's go to the Storm Prediction Center, and you'll see what's going on. Storm Prediction Center. This is a moderate risk there. Look at that red zone right there. So got a lot of that. And then as we go into tomorrow, first of all, let's go take a look at our reports. We had 24 tornadoes today. 24 tornadoes. So if we go to the storm reports map, you can see a lot of tornadoes there. If you look over Illinois and Missouri, and then a lot of straight line winds. And what I do see a red dot in Jersey. We might have had a tornado there. Hang on. Why is Upton not? I'm not Upton, but Mount Holly not showing that. That's very interesting. Let's see if we can get. I'd like to get a. Can we get that? Make that map bigger? There's a red dot right over Jersey. So southern Jersey. So it looked like there was a. All right, here we go. They have the list right here. New Jersey, Atlantic County. An EF0 tornado occurred near Collins Lakes, New Jersey. The first damage was noted along Malaga Road where large branches were down. So we did have a tornado in New Jersey, 1 touchdown. And we also had tornadoes in Missouri, Kentucky, and a lot of hail reports too as well. So this does list all the reports. I just wish they'd make this map a little bit bigger. Maybe there is a way to do that. There probably is. But anyway, you can see here, yep, there was a tornado. Why Mount Holly doesn't have it on the website? I don't know. Nothing on here. There's nothing. Oh, there's tornado warning, but there's no actual report. Nothing on their social media about it. Nothing posted on their Facebook. Nothing about tornado happening. Nothing up here about it. This is what the cutbacks the Weather Service are doing. So we don't. At least we were able to. So that was an actual tornado. Let's see. Maybe this is a public. Nope. These are just rainfall amounts. So there was a tornado in New Jersey today, an EF0. Anyway, back to the Storm Prediction Center. Let's take a look at tomorrow. We still have a lot going on. We still have a lot of tornado watches. We have to go back to that weather and hazards, and I have to show you that as well. But let's go to that day 2 convective outlook. Where is it? Oh, we have the day 1. Let's see, maybe I can go over here to the day 2. So it looks like they took us out of the category 2 risk. Now they've lowered us to marginal risk. So it looks like we're still in some kind of risk of severe weather, but not as much as originally thought of. And so this is all due to, again, we have several fronts. You can see there's a warm front ready to poised to move through. It's going to be a lot hotter tomorrow as a result of that. And then as we go into the day 2, you'll see that we're in the warm sector, and then we're awaiting that cold front later on in the afternoon. All right. So surface analysis, and again, this is kind of the setup that we've got right now. So we're waiting for this warm front to move through. It's going to get a lot warmer once it does. So let me go back to the weather and hazards, and I'll just show you all the that big tornado watch there that is in this area right here. Big tornado watch. So again, this is and you can see, look at that, a 56-mile-an-hour wind gust there being reported at Henderson City, and it looks like they gusted to 75 today. So that's like some incredible winds right there that dealing with. So big tornado watch area, and if I take the layers out and just show you the severe weather warnings, we have a few active tornado warnings and numerous severe thunderstorm warnings as well. So yeah, that is you can see the warmer airs in this warm sector here. It's going to get even warmer once that gets into our area. So let's look at the models now, and we will go and look at what we have coming. Again, we'll go to the European. So there's that low. You see what's going to happen now tonight. In the morning, there might be a chance of a shower or thunderstorm with the warm front, and then the cold front comes through later in the afternoon. But the Euro is not really showing much because there isn't much of a kink in the isobars, so there isn't a big convergence zone there. All right, that low lifts away, and then Sunday we're dealing with breezy conditions, cooler, and some clouds, and feeling a lot cooler. And then that we'll have some nice weather Monday into Tuesday before we have to deal with the rain again as we head later into Wednesday. And there's another cutoff. Look at that. So we're dealing with that again. Hopefully it doesn't ruin the holiday weekend, but that's in the distance. I'm just talking right now, focused on the tomorrow. And once we get done with tomorrow, we'll have a nice stretch of cool and comfortable weather and no humidity. This humidity is absolutely ridiculous, I know. So let's look at the HRRR here. So notice the HRRR dew point's really not going anywhere. We have a southerly flow. Tomorrow, again, humidity is still high during the day until the cold front comes through later in the evening. So the evening, looks like that's when the cold front's going to come through. And that's when you'd have that chance of a thunderstorm, perhaps, when that cold front moves through. And then see much, much better conditions as you head into Sunday. Much better. All right. So definitely significantly better than what we've been dealing with the dew points. Definitely a lot more comfortable. And then as we go into Monday, you'll notice we're even drier with the drier air here. And then Tuesday, still staying in the dry air. But then you'll see what happens as you head into Wednesday. So temperatures, we'll just show you on the temperatures real briefly. For tomorrow, it will be a lot warmer. And GFS is having everybody getting into the low 80s, by the way. But you'll see the drop here. Low 70s for Sunday and low 70s for Monday. So it's close to normal for this time of the year. All right, HRRR, let's go back to that and look at the temperatures for tomorrow. And you'll see, definitely it's going to be a muggy night, probably not getting below 60. And then tomorrow, it's going to be pretty warm. The sea breeze may not be that strong. And so a lot of areas, I think Nassau County, Western Suffolk, you're going to get above 80, probably well in the 80s. Jersey, maybe right on the South Shore, east of Nichols Road, you may only be in the 70s, but it's going to be very warm and very humid. Which is fuel for thunderstorms, obviously. And then you'll notice by Sunday morning, temperatures drop into the upper 50s, and then much more comfortable weather for Sunday. So let's go take a look at the radar simulation here and see what the HRRR has on this. And it's not a whole lot of activity, maybe a little bit of shower activity in the morning, and then very scattered activity in the evening develops. Could be a few cells. There's one that pops up in the evening, and it's possible some of these could be severe. There's a marginal risk for that. So, again, we have to pay attention to see. The model very well may be underdoing things. And then as we move past that, much better weather continues. Goes into Sunday, though. Up to the north, could still be a spot shower because there's going to be some instability, and that's going to result in some cloudiness on Sunday. But yeah, the HRRR doesn't look all that exciting. Let's look at the NAM, which we only have 19 hours of the latest NAM in. The 0Z NAM. NAM's definitely a little more widespread with thunderstorm activity. It has some in the noon hours, but that's as much as we've got. It only goes to 19Z. So if I want to go a little further, we've got to go back to the 18Z run. And you see the NAM here showing this nice little cluster of heavy rain, probably not severe thunderstorms. That's with a warm front. And then later in the afternoon, just very scattered activity again. Not really showing a whole lot. There's one stray shower on Sunday. Again, Sunday we're going to have a very unstable, a very unstable situation in the atmosphere. So meaning that we're going to have a very rapid temperature decrease with height. So if I look at the sounding here, you'll see that's a very unstable situation that we have here. We have moisture as well. The air is moist. So we have a lot of clouds around. So that's going to promote that kind of thing. Let me go back to the HRRR and if only we had a crazy thunderstorm on Sunday, wouldn't it? Let's look at Cape. This is our Cape levels. They seem most impressive in the middle of the day, early afternoon, and then again toward the early evening hours, and then it kind of dies out. And then Sunday, no more Cape. So anything we get on Sunday wouldn't be severe, but if there is a pop-up shower. But you can see here that there is definitely some Cape, not very high levels of it. Best chances looks like would be north of over Long Island, north of the city, not so much Jersey. So it looks like better chances to the north, and that would be again early in the afternoon. So that's what they have on the HRRR. Let's go to the HDRPS, the 18Z on this one. So let's take a look what HDRPS does here for tomorrow, and yeah, not really all that impressive either. So none of the models really show anything forming. It doesn't mean that something won't form, but it seems to be very scattered activity due to the nature of the way this cold front is set up. So, and the other thing you'll notice also, closer isobars are closer together, which means we'll have more wind on Sunday. It will be breezy. So let's go look at the RGEM just for the. We'll go ahead and see what the RGEM's doing with thunderstorm activity. And again, not really terribly impressive. Let's go and show you the clouds. So for tomorrow, we'll have clouds, but then the clouds kind of break out in the afternoon into some sunshine. And we'll get a decent amount of sunshine, I think, as we get toward after 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then that could set things up for some more instability, and maybe the models just aren't picking up on it. We'll have to see. Just pay attention to the radar. Now, Sunday starts off with sunshine, but we'll have that self-destruct sunshine where there'll be instability and probably a lot of cumulus and stratocumulus by the afternoon. Monday is probably going to be the day that's going to feature the most amount of sunshine, probably. So that's what we're looking at right now. Then as we get toward Tuesday, we'll probably have to worry about some higher level clouds coming in, perhaps. Yeah, you can see the GFS here. You can see those higher level clouds kind of coming in. I think you got a storm that's kind of backing up over there, too, which is kind of weird. So you have a block in the atmosphere. It's strange for sure. But let's get through tomorrow first, and then maybe I'll go over the weather for the following week on tomorrow night, maybe. All right, I'll try to do that. But let's go to Ventusky and take a look at again the thunderstorm, the Cape levels as we head into tomorrow. Obviously, this is the HRRR. It's the same model, but it just gives us a little higher resolution. And you can see, yeah, there's some decent amount of Cape right around midday. This is with the warm front, I believe. So you can see our southerly flow. We still have that southerly flow as of 5 o'clock. We still have Cape. 8 o'clock, still some Cape. So, again, we have that risk for severe thunderstorms. I'm not expecting to issue a severe thunderstorm watch, but we have a risk. So every time there's been the slightest chance, usually something will pop up somewhere. So tomorrow could get pretty interesting. And it will be, again, very humid. So that also a little on the breezy side, too. There'll be a decent breeze. I guess it's just showing a decent breeze on the South Shore, but I have a feeling inland it could be quite warm. All right. But the wind's going to be more of an issue on Sunday when we have wind gusts. That'll be up a little higher. Not wind advisory criteria. It'll just be breezy. And luckily we've had plenty of rain, so we don't have to worry about any wildfire risk, but could be gusting close to 35 miles an hour by 4 o'clock or so. And then Monday, still breezy. The breezy conditions continue because that low is going to get stuck. As we go back to the European, or go to windy, and you'll see that again, that low gets stuck. So if we go to windy.com and go to, could also use this for thunderstorm threat too as well. And this shows something really heavy around Tom's River. This is another little thing we could use here. Again, not really showing too much action for us. Wind gusts. Let's do that. So again, tomorrow looks kind of windy. Winds gusting to 33. There is energy in the atmosphere, so I wouldn't be so sure. I wouldn't write it off that there could be some severe thunderstorms tomorrow. It's a marginal risk, but the risk is there. As we go into Sunday, we're just dealing with gradient winds. And the issue is we have a low over here, so we have a low over here, and that low kind of just sits there and keeps the wind going. Even on Monday, it'll be breezy. Tuesday, we finally see that kind of pull away, and that kind of takes us back to the tropical tidbits, where we'll look once again at the European model. Do the eastern U.S. view, and show you again what's happening. So that low goes well into Canada, and we see this pressure gradient develop. We're in kind of a cyclonic flow Sunday, so it kind of keeps us on the cool side. Monday, I see Tuesday, we got a high wedging down, so it'll still be good. But then eventually this low gets cut off as we get toward Wednesday, and we're going to have rain, perhaps heavy at times later Wednesday into Thursday, perhaps. So that's still a ways away. That'll be our next weather alert once we get through this. So if I don't come back tomorrow night, you have an idea of what next week's weather is going to be. It'll be cool. It'll be comfortable. But then we've got to deal with that cutoff low. So I would say enjoy Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. We'll have another probably three dry days, and then we're back dealing with the wetness again. So that is all. Have a good night.